Jeff Heckman, Director of E-Commerce for Topps. Okay, and
Deniz Gezgin. I'm the Director of Marketing for our digital apps.
Great. So Topps is so. I've been told my producer get closer. Is that okay?
That's quite all right.
But I'm not sure how long.
I know.
I'm not sure how long he's worn the shirt. So I don't know, man. That's really good. I told him to dress up. That's all he can come up with, right? That's the bottom line.
I brought something from the history of the company.
So the history of the company is really, really important, and that's more important maybe than anything else we're talking about, because baseball is legacy, tradition, and I and a lot of other kids grew up with the trading cards, and we would basically toss the gum. We didn't care about the gum. We cared about the cards. So how has the company evolved, or when did it start, and how's the company evolved? Give us a little history.
Sure. So the company started in 1938, and it was, at that time, a gum company. And then in 1951, we came up with the first baseball card. It wasn't really until 1952, which is the famous baseball card series. It included Mickey Mantle, a lot of the other stars of the day, where Topps is really known. That was the modern trading card. 2.5 by 3.5, stats on the back, player pictures on the front. It's really what a lot of people grew up with and still collect today. So throughout the course of all that year, we're celebrating our 65th anniversary, which is great. We've really been embedded in the fabric of baseball. Kids and even adults, as they've kind of gone through the evolution of their fandom with baseball. So it's been really great to kind of see, and even getting to the point we're at today. Deniz is here. I mean, we've gone from physical trading cards. We're at the point where we have digital apps, which are trading cards, but they're something that you can collect and trade through iPhones or Androids or any other tablet that we have available. So it's been really great for Topps to be involved with baseball throughout those 65 years.
All right, Deniz, digital apps.
Yeah.
Tell me it ain't so. So I have hundreds of thousands of cards in my attic, like everybody else does. If you're not, if you throw those cards out, you ought to be shot. I mean, you're not human, okay? And now kids are growing up on the basis of an iPhone app. How's it work?
Exactly. I mean, business model, if you will, is kind of shifting, right? So it is a slow shift. I mean, we don't want you to throw your cards away, obviously.
Right.
We would like you to keep them and buy more of them.
Yeah.
But, I think as the new youth generation coming in, they're consuming information in a much different way, right? It's all through the apps, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So, I think the apps for any business is just a natural extension of that business. So that we look at it that way. And, we have apps for MLB, which is a bunt app. We have an app for NFL, which is a partner. Star Wars is another partner. We have an app for Walking Dead. So
an app for Walking Dead. Wait, time out. Now we're not letting this go.
Yeah.
We're going to have we have a set of Walking Dead trading cards and an app for them.
That's correct. Yes.
I'm leaving this. Do we have any Walking Dead app? Do we have any Walking Dead cards?
We just have baseball cards.
Just baseball cards today.
Baseball cards.
When we do our next Facebook Live show on Walking Dead, then we're going to have you back. That's okay.
Just to give you, kind of some numbers that you guys, can maybe take. We have over 1 million monthly active users in our apps. So it's, there is, I'm sure we have 1 million purchasers since the company was set up. But for us to be able to reach those customers on a monthly basis, and more than 1 million of them, it is a good medium to have, or a channel to have, if you will.
Do you have a sense of value of collectibles? Because this flies against the traditional collectible notion. If all you need to do is open up an app and you have access to it, how does that all work these days?
I mean, we have an in-game economy, so we have a certain value for our apps that are in our apps, and some people also that plays our apps, day and night, take him to eBay and they attach some sort of a value to it. But for us, whatever the in-game economy tells us the value of the app, the card is, that is the value. It has some external value. Yeah.
Jeff, talk broadly about the branding of Topps and its evolution. So we've done this before. You've had an expertise at FC Johnson. By the way, did you see they now have licensed off as the official insect repellent of the Olympics for Zika, which is a big deal. So congrats. Oh, not there anymore.
I'm not there anymore. No, but I still have a lot of friends there.
Yeah, I'm
very,
sure.
Very cool.
By the way, that was a heck of an assignment. But talk a little bit about sustaining the Topps brand in the peaks and valleys of the business cycle, but also in the conversion from the traditional you got to have it on paper to the e-economy. It's a lot different.
It is different, but there are actually a lot of similarities that we employ, which keeps the brand strong and keeps the brand something that people really understand and know. So the things that they're doing in the digital trading card app, for example, they follow a lot of the same tenets and principles that we have in the physical trading cards. So they have limited editions as far as the cards, limited amount of time that they're available. So a lot of the things that drive the excitement and the value of the Topps brand in general, because it is a collectible, is really all about just kind of the enjoyment, the chase, opening the packs, not having as many cards of certain cards, going after your favorite players, the star players of the different leagues and entertainment properties. So I think that's the one thing that has been consistent and constant with Topps throughout the course of time is it's always a trading card, it's a collectible, and it's something that will appeal to kids and adults, and everyone can assign their own value to it. There's a lot of different ways that people can collect. You can collect the whole set, you can collect your favorite team, you can collect the rare cards, you can collect it with the goal of trying to sell it on a secondary market, you can collect it with the goal of holding it for years and years, you can collect it with the goal of passing it down a generation. So I think that's what's held consistent for Topps, and it's something that, being involved from S.C. Johnson to Topps, people, when they see Topps, everyone knows what it is. The brand awareness is extremely high, and that's something we're really proud of.
Easy fight, hard fight, because Fleer, I can't remember, but there are a lot of pretenders, and Topps has always had the space, and it was almost as much as not getting market share, but sustaining people's appetite for actually having cards. So how has e-commerce then guaranteed that it'll sustain over time as well, and the brand legacy as well?
Yeah, I mean, like Jeff mentioned, there are a lot of similarities between digital and e-commerce, what Jeff is trying to do with his team. We work with big partners and very, branded partners, if you will, NFL, MLB, Lucasfilms, and I think that is going to be kind of the trend for us, and I don't think we're going to switch from that business model. But what it also gives us kind of the carryover, or we kind of live in this middle area, which we can actually target customers and reach out to the customers that are similar or based on their behavior. Emergence of Facebook, there's a lot of data that can feed into between e-commerce and digital apps. So that is kind of how we're going to sustain and scale, and kind of even for the upcoming brands, it could be any additional brand that we're looking for. It is a lot more data driven. Youth is consuming the information a lot more differently. So it is one thing to push a person to a hobby store, but I think we have now much more power in terms of their apps, or their devices, their Facebook accounts. So we can really target people and scale in a different way.
Final question, Jeff Heckman. What does the business and what does Topps as part of the business look like 10 years from now?
I think that's a great question. I think there's, as I mentioned before, I think there's a lot of similarities to, the way Topps looks now. And I think the one, another kind of core thing that Topps has done throughout its course of time is really evolved and been innovative. And, sitting here, I've been at the company for 5 years. When I first started, we didn't even have any apps. Now we have, approximately 10 different properties. The e-commerce channel was just, very much in its infancy. Now we're doing print on demand, where we're putting out cards the next day. So that's through our Topps Now program. So really just to be able to see that, I think, we'll continue to, the digital and the apps will continue to grow. I think a lot of people will continue to be consuming things through online, and I know that Topps will be able to provide people the content in the manner and the way in which they want. So, it's always hard to predict the future, but I think that Topps will still be very relevant and important to all different age groups, and certainly within MLB. I mean, we're synonymous with Major League Baseball, and I don't expect that to change.
And it won't change, but now that we've done your business philosophy and your future, do you have any swag for me? What do you have?
I do, absolutely. So we got some really fun stuff
really
from
important.
the Fan Fest, and that's where I came from. So these are our Topps Now cards. So you can see this is Mike Trout. And Topps Now commemorates the best moments as they happen in sports. So right after Mike was elected to the All-Star game, he is the sixth player elected under the age of 25 to 4 consecutive All-Star games. So it's quite an impressive list. You can see on the back, Mickey Mantle's on there. I'm just going to read it so I don't get it wrong. Ivan Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., Al Kaline, and Joe DiMaggio. So pretty impressive company. And then you can see another card, and this one I think will really appeal to the San Diego fans. So you had mentioned before in some of the other talks you had with the Padres about the last time the game was here in '92. We have a great image of Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre, and Ken Griffey Jr., who was the winner of the MVP for the All-Star game. So just kind of a really cool moment. And then Deniz has some other stuff.
I just want you to understand that as still as I have been to be able to hold these cards, she's shaking the camera. That's the reason why that's happening.
And then this is one more physical thing before we get to the app. So during FanFest, I mean, it has been record and absolutely awesome. So we've been passing those out to kids all throughout the FanFest. So as
And
you'll
it says
see,
50% off.
So that's
select Pops products.
So in
So
our
you're
major
bait and switching
retailers.
young kids already before they even have a chance.
That's
to
right.
understand.
Yeah. So you'll see the
So
different.
it's, 50%
So
off.
it's free.
Fred, off what? I have no idea what you're going to buy me. 50% off.
That's
whatever
right.
it is.
That's right. Yeah. So.
And Alex Guerrero, this is interesting.
So this is
our out as much on this card as he does in real life.
So these are our just real trading cards, and the idea is just to have kids have them and they love them and come up and swarm the booth. So Dennis will talk about these.
Yeah,
What do you got?
We've been giving away these posters since the FanFest started. So far, giving away about 60,000. They're completely free. Anyone that comes by our booth.
And by the way, this is obviously Clayton Kershaw.
Yes.
$33.2 million, and he's not smiling. If you're making $33 million, why aren't you smiling? I mean, that is really ridiculous. Who else you have? Manny Machado.
Yeah.
And by the way, all of these guys were at the media center an hour ago with booths right next to him, and the kids were not there, but the reporters were able to get, and it was like the kids, because they were kind of sneaking, you're not supposed to do this, but can you give me an autograph, which is really kind of bizarre.
You
saw that?
Yeah.
Here is Chris Bryant. By the way, I don't know if you knew, but the fans voted in. There are 48 Cubs on the National League All-Star team. Right? It's pretty close to it. It's amazing. You walk around, and this is, I was going to kid Mike D about it, but this is now Chicago Southwest, I guarantee. It is. And here we have Bryce Harper. That's a pretty, you got Chris Bryant, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Clayton Kershaw, David Ortiz. That is a great All-Star team. And you just give these away.
Yes.
By the way,
they're free.
on behalf of Reuters, we're commandeering these, okay?
Yes,
That's
of
all
course.
we
I
wanna
got
do.
5 more of each. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
pleasure.
Really
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.
Very nice
That was
meeting you.
totally awesome.